Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Closer to the Edge podcast, the anti-sleep aid for anyone sick of political self-censoring and hushed tones on the left-wing podcast at a time when we need to be loud. We're here to kick down the goddamn door with a bullhorn duct taped to a chainsaw, giving a megaphone to fighters and dissenters.
So buckle the fuck up. Make sure we're getting the visual.
Got the visual? All right. Man.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, man. How you been, brother? How you been?
I've been well. I've been printing out all my documents today to get them all shipped off to district court in D.C. So we'll hopefully by this time next week, they'll have the packet of paper and they can do what they will with it. So
awesome, man. I can't wait to see how this goes through. I know how the court system is. For those who still don't know, you tell them what you're talking about there.
Well, we're looking for a declaratory judgment on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to see if it applies to the president when it comes to providing aid and comfort to people that participated in an insurrection. There's a rumor going around via the Constitution that you're not allowed to hold office if you do such a thing. So we're just going to investigate that and ask for a declaration from the court.
Yeah, sounds about right. I love this. We're going to keep this going. We put it on last time too. So absolutely great work, man. Now, we got to talk about what's been going on, because this is one of those weekends that I would love to just get on here and be funny. I'd love to talk about all the funny stuff I want to talk about, but I would be remiss not to talk about the violence, the gun violence, the shooting at Brown University in Australia, the Americans that lost their lives over there, and I believe it was Syria. I don't know much about everything, but it was all coming in pretty hard and fast. I want to make sure that we let everybody know that we stand with you. For those who pray, they do get our prayers, of course. And for those who don't, this entire team feels your loss. And we would also be remiss not to say that it's only 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 15, 12, 100 of many more. It's a lot. It's a lot. And every person who came out in the political sphere, from Trump to all the other, troglodytes on the right wing that come out with the thoughts and prayers and have no plan, no actual fix, no intelligible, reality-based solution for the gun violence in this country. Fuck all of you, all the way off. Every single one of you.
Absolutely, Doug. It's been I guess we're recording on a Monday night, and it was just yesterday that these shootings took place.
Mm-hmm.
And last I heard, they took a suspect into custody for the Rhode Island shooting. I think they let him go. So I don't know if they have any good leads right now. They're really looking for the public's help in tracking down that.
Can we talk about the incompetence of this Justice Department? Can we talk about the incompetence of the bug-eyed fucking freak who and the orange Mussolini who go out there on Twitter like school children and just say things? Oh, we got him. Yeah. Immediately afterward, and no one was even in custody at the time when Trump said it. But because these people have that type of voice, every time you do something stupid like that, it makes it even harder to catch the real person. That's when you find out that the person who you have this time wasn't it. It wasn't them.
Right. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know if this is the third, fourth, fifth time that, in a high profile shooting or mass shooting, that they come out and they arrest the wrong guy and make a big announcement. Then they have to backtrack and cover their ass.
It's so sick.
It's sick. I don't know. It's been a tiring year and past 24 hours. And yeah, it's try to keep our tanks full of gas and try not to run out of steam here. But I was, as terrible as the shooting in Australia was, I was happy to see the man tackle, I believe it was the father who had a gun. You know, a lot of people want to divide us on lines of religion, pit us against each other based on our skin color, our religion, our sexual orientation, or if they can find a line, they'll try to take advantage of it and try to push us away from caring about each other. But I was happy to see, you know, it didn't matter. That man didn't know who that guy was shooting at. He didn't care. Religion had to do with any of it. He saw people in danger and he walked up and, you know, looked like gave the man a big bear hug from behind. I think he may have taken a couple bullets. That's what I read earlier today, but I don't think it's something we should forget.
Indeed.
Also, man, yeah,
That was you're talking about the Australian shooting.
yeah, and that Muslim man had more courage than any of the cops in the Uvalde shooting. You know?
Yeah.
And so as much as these people, Netanyahu or Trump or any of these people that want to divide us along the lines of religion and blame this segment or that segment for this madness, it's like you said, they're not offering solutions, they're just offering more blame. And it's sad.
Yep. It's this is where we are. And let's be clear, this isn't a Trump problem. This is a right-wing problem, and a few Democrats have also fallen into the trap of this Second Amendment, Second Amendment absolutist ideas. I'm a military guy, so there's a lot of people, especially in the Sons of Liberty, that are more Second Amendment than me. And I don't care. I do not care. Like, everybody gets to have an opinion. All I know is whatever it takes to even give the damn idea, the look, the appearance that we care, I'd like to see it. If you want to get rid of the Second Amendment, fine. If you want to keep it but make actual guardrails like a normal human being population, fine. I don't give a fuck anymore. Whatever you want to do, if you can give an appearance that we care, it will be better than what we have now, which is, I don't care. 360-something mass shootings. That means 4 more people shot or injured and not the shooter. In America. You know how many were in Australia? 1. It's a bad year if they have 2. A bad year.
Yep. And they're even looking in Australia on what they can do differently moving forward. I don't know how many guns this father and son had, but I think the Prime Minister's point in Australia was, how many, I don't know, we got to keep track of how many people own how many guns. I mean, how many of these mass shooters do you find out later on own 10 guns, 20 guns? There should come a point where there's an alarm. I mean,
they worship these guns. And guns being a hobby, right? I can't tell you what to think or say. I know that drums being your hobby, or guitar being your hobby, or knitting being your hobby doesn't have the capability to kill people. So if you think that guns being your hobby is more important than the fucking lives that are being lost because of some hobbyists, fuck you all the way off.
And people if you
want to have some real reform and say, well, let's save the hobby somehow, because I can't say that, if it's your hobby, that not everybody who has that as a hobby is going out doing that. But if my hobby was parachuting, and I found out that parachuting caused 360-something deaths a year, I would be looking for the fucking reform.
Right. Exactly. And these people would say, well, we need guns to protect ourselves. I'd say that's true. But how many guns do you need to protect yourselves? You need 5, 6, 7, 12 guns? I mean, it's just, how much is too much? I don't know. And I don't pretend to have the answers to these questions, but it's a conversation that just we keep having because no one's willing to do anything about it. No one's willing to, I don't know, have a registry to see who owns these guns, to more easily track who's buying these guns.
I mean, it seems so simple, and I understand that it's not. So I wasn't planning on going into all of this on this podcast, but since we're here, fuck it. This is a deal. This is what we do. Black Panthers, when they were walking around with long guns and things that were not semi-automatic, but they called them that, and they looked dangerous. All of a sudden, the gun reform was a very, very big thing. Before that, it wasn't. When the Black Panthers were around doing that, all of a sudden it was a big thing. So I don't want people out there to think that it's lost on me that the first thing they're going to try to do is take the guns from trans people, take the guns from black people. And that's a reality that's worth looking into and thinking about. And that's not lost on me. So don't think I don't get the idea. But no matter what group you belong to, if you're not willing to say that whatever these issues are, from the education to the racism to the transphobia, that can also be attached or handled along with the idea that we have all the firearms manufacturers in America that want to sell more, see that as the problem and regulate them as well, then you're just, in my opinion, you're biting off your nose to spite your face, right? You're cutting it off. Yeah, all of those things need to be addressed. And yeah, I understand that it can be used as a discriminatory tactic. And it's dangerous to not look at those things, right? And this is the nuance. So I know it's not easy. It sounds real easy. But there hasn't been one person on any side of the pro-gun movement, not any of them, and people who I love, who I respect, and who I have on my own channels. Not one time have they given me a good enough excuse to not look at all of it and admit that it needs to all be a part of regulating this thing, right?
Yeah.
I can't find it yet.
Well, that's the word that people don't like to mention in the Second Amendment, is the word regulated.
Regulated.
Well regulated. Not even regulated, well regulated. And they just, every time they've been just playing this fear game for decades about how Obama was going to take your guns, and the othering of different groups, the fear mongering on Fox News, anything they can do to scare you and to make you believe that you need to own a gun. And then I suppose they just hope you develop a hobby. And want to buy another gun and maybe subscribe to their gun magazine and, just make your whole life about the Second Amendment and worship, gun porn. Just, and I don't know. I'm not out for banning all guns, but there has to be a better way. And if we're not going to bother to do anything, then I guess we're just going to get more of the same.
More of the same, and I don't see it happening anytime soon, simply because of what I just said, that the most capitalist country in the world happens to have all the gun manufacturers, the biggest ones that sell the most. So you can be sure, until we get the money out of politics, to begin with, it starts there. Maybe we're not going to see much change, and there are too many mass shootings for us to come on here every time after one and do a segment like this. So it will happen again. And when it does happen again, we probably won't notice because it will happen a few more times before we do our next show.
Yep, that's the sad truth. It's like a weather event almost. It's like
It's a weather event. Today it fucking rained. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Rained on the West Coast, rained on the East Coast, rained down south. I mean, who knows what mass shootings happened today that we're not even discussing right now. So,
well, I wish I had a solution for you, but I don't. I have a whole bunch of ideas and nuance, and I can help people to. I think having this conversation is important, but you guys out there have got to continue the conversation. Take what I said. If you're one of those who are like, I just want to get rid of it all, we don't need it, fine. Just take the Black Panthers, take the trans issue into account when you're thinking about that. Nothing is easy, but damn it, we have to. The rest of the world thinks we just don't care because there's not even the idea of how to go about it.
Yeah. Well, did you hear what Trump said about, I think it was the Rhode Island shooting? I think he said, sometimes things happen. Was that his 3 words? Sometimes things happen. That was his description of the shooting. It's just wild. Let's switch gears maybe for a second. I want to see if we might be able to squeeze something in before our guest comes on the show.
Yeah, let's do that, man.
Did you see, I believe they were from Antifa. Maybe we can play the video on the screen here in just a short while. But I believe they walked into the J. Edgar Hoover building, and they said they were there to turn themselves in. And have you seen this story, Doug?
Yes, I have. Let me get it up. Civil obedience.
Civil obedience. In our very first podcast episode, we had Cliff Cash on to talk about this, and he proposed maybe a national turn yourself in day. But maybe we expand it to a week. I don't know. Yeah. So you can, I guess let's play the video, and then we can talk about it after the others. Watch what happened.
Yeah, let's watch what happens here.
So we're field commanders from Antifa, and we would like to save FBI some money. We are here to turn ourselves in.
I'm part of the Virginia field commander of Antifa. We're here to turn ourselves in.
And I'm the leader of the Antifa QRF force that travels the country. I'd like to turn myself in.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second.
Thank you.
We're both Army veterans.
We would like to say there's no video recording inside the building, so we will have to.
We are in a public lobby, are we not? In a public place?
Can we film out here? We're still...
This is a public lobby. Are we not? In a public place?
Can we film out here? We're still...
This is a public lobby, is it not? The First Amendment says anything by public can be.
But I mean, we're here to turn ourselves in as Antifa, so it's kind of like, we're filming and all, but we're field commanders of Antifa. Apparently, we're terrorists.
Yeah. So
I wondered, did these guys watch our show?
So we're kind of concerned. We wanted to turn ourselves in.
Yeah, you guys said something.
We'll just wait right over here.
Yeah.
Ex-civil rights. Well, yesterday, I was dragged out of an encampment, and then me and Baron and Kate held the line as they fucking pushed us onto the ground. Despite our First Amendment permit, our legal protest, our rights were violated. Where is the FBI?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, it was the exact thing we were saying. Guys, if you know who this is and you watch this podcast, if we're lucky enough to have you guys, if you guys watch this and that gave you the idea, please hit us up. Comment, email, whatever it is. That is beautiful.
And like we said in the first podcast episode, people go and do this, they need to film it like these guys did. It's a lot more powerful if we can see what happened. And what did the scale say to him? I said 1 second.
Hold on 1 second for me.
1 second. She didn't exactly know what to do. And then I think some other people came out, and I think they just told him to go have a seat in the lobby. which is what they told me to do. So maybe that's just a
Well,
tactic, I guess.
they told him that they can't film. And what's funny to me is the guy came in there and said, "Hey, I'm the head of the terrorist organization." And you're more worried about them filming than what they told you. I think it says a lot about your bullshit stance on what, and you know exactly that there's no such thing.
Well, and maybe the gal behind the glass there at FBI headquarters, maybe she saw our podcast. Maybe she knew what was happening from the get go. Maybe that's why she wasn't too freaked out.
I think maybe what she did was she said to herself, "This is above my pay grade, and I'm not getting caught." I'm not getting. Somebody,
that's it.
I'll get somebody else involved in this bullshit. I don't want it.
Yeah. On an unrelated matter, that same gentleman was arrested by the Secret Service.
Oh yes, that was the same guy
At a White House protest. Yelling and swearing, but doing nothing illegal. And they took him to the ground. They arrested him. And ultimately, I don't think they charged him with anything because Secret Service wouldn't send the paperwork because really they had nothing to charge him with. So.
Yeah, they were. I heard he was there for like 7 hours. And so you guys who know Jolly Green Ginger, go follow him. He had all of that documented. We'll put his stuff in the comment section as well.
Did you call him Jolly Green Ginger?
No, Jolly Good.
Jolly Good Ginger.
Jolly Good Ginger, not Jolly Green. If I did, then that was even funnier. I'm not taking it back.
Not to be confused with the Jolly Good Giant. Is that
the Jolly Green Giant?
Totally different person. But yeah, if any of you are out there and you're doing this, I believe that it's a public lobby. I believe you're able to film in a public lobby, but I guess that's up to them to request, I suppose.
Listen, I'd love to see it. You guys do it and send it in. We'll show it. If you send your video, we'll show it on the podcast. I'll show it on Political Drain as well, and see if we maybe even on Sons of Liberty. They're like over 100,000 followers, so I'll see if I can get Big Sarge to show it there. Do it. Video. Send it in. Political Drain at gmail.com. But speaking of the fighters there, Rook, we have one on tonight, and she is trying to be she is the candidate running against another weak ass Republican who never does town halls in Georgia, 12th district. Her name is Bri Woodson, and I want to bring her on tonight. I want to bring her on right now. So let's do this. So today we have an amazing guest, candidate for, I believe, the 12th district in Georgia, running to do some real good political forward movement, but also that good trouble. That good trouble, because that's where I first met her. And we'll talk all about that, DC. We'll talk all about what she's planning to do for moving this place forward out of the fascist movement that we're in today. Bri Woodson, how are you, my friend?
Super well. How are you?
Excellent. And before all of this, we were just talking about a few things that were going on this weekend. The gun violence from here to Australia, and even in Syria. And we know, I happen to know that Georgia is also one of those places where they feel like guns are more important than people sometimes. What's your thoughts on that real quick? Actually, you know what? Tell everybody about yourself first, and then we'll go into that. That's what we'll do, because I don't want to start there. Tell us about yourself. Where is the 12th district?
Yeah, so the 12th district of Georgia is Augusta, Statesboro, Dublin, and surrounding areas.
Oh, Georgia Southern.
Yeah, all hell Southern, not state, right?
That's right. Okay. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm not a politician, for one. I I always like to start there because the question is always, well, how did you get here? My background right now is in counseling. I've worn a few hats, but I'm finishing my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I work in substance use. I'm in recovery. There was once upon a time I was in active addiction. I survived being trafficked by the cartel. And then all of that somehow spurred into a platform. Online, I'm known as a controversial blonde. So before I decided to run for office, I was known online for political commentary and breaking down dark points of Black history in under 2 minutes. That was my thing, and I amassed quite a large platform in a fairly short amount of time. So transitioning to running for office has been interesting. It's been fun. There's been a lot of support online, which I appreciate, as it seems to be a bit of a home base for me. So roundabout, that sums up me and who I am.
Wow.
What prompted you to run for Congress? Were you getting calls from other people? Were other people telling you this is something you should do? Is this something you woke up one morning and decided I needed to go sit in Congress?
A few things. So I didn't realize what kind of a monster this administration was going to wake up, and that's how I went viral online in the first place, is criticizing the current administration in the way that I do. I've always been politically aligned. I've always been outspoken. This is not new. This version of what you see is authentic and true. Always been outspoken, always been a whistleblower of sorts. But several months ago, there was a woman who called ICE on the Hyundai plant in Georgia, and a lot of Korean nationals were arrested. It caused local, global, national outrage. And I realized she's running for a congressional seat in an area that has been neglected for quite some while politically. The incumbent has held the seat for a decade, and where is he, right? Pardon me. So it was less about this one woman's actions, but it was more about what our current political environment represented. And our current political environment makes room for those kinds of people. So how dangerous would it be for someone with that much vitriol and disdain in their heart, and a lack of capacity for everyone? If they can make an impact, what on earth could I do with all of the opposite ideals with the right place and frame and the right heart and mind, right? So that's how I got here. And also, I did make a video and ask people if they would like to see me run for Congress, and I got thousands of yeses, so that also helped.
Wow. Yeah, so I know exactly that story, and this ridiculous idiot. Was she running for something too, or was she already?
She's running for the seat as well.
She's the one running against you? All right, so what I'm going to do...
The Republican ticket, yes, sir.
I'm going to refrain from calling her the name I want to, because they're just going to clip it and use it against you, right? So I'll stop there. Now, what people need to know is that plant, I think they backed out now, was going to provide thousands of jobs, right? And money for a district, for a place that absolutely needed it. And because of her ridiculousness and her racism, she not only made sure that they're not going to get that money, but now has made it a rift with an entire other country. They say racism is expensive. That's pretty daggone expensive. Like, you got the entire Korea against your state.
And it's also important to add that they weren't here to work for us. They were here to train Americans for the jobs, and then they were going to go home. They're always going to go home.
Thank you.
They were never here for good.
Yeah. And also, they weren't Mexican like she thought they were. They're Korean. You racist.
I'm going to try. Good restraint there. Doug.
I do this.
That's
Okay.
good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. We'll see how long it takes before this kicks in. So here's the deal. There's so many things I wanted to talk about. And your background in counseling, mental health. Of course, we were going to go into the gun violence, and the first thing you're going to hear is this mental health thing. So it kind of leads me to bring that up in this context. Number one, when I do hear that, my eyes roll back in the back of my head and say, why is it only when people get shot up do the Republicans start talking about mental health? And number two, I find it completely a disparaging idea to only equate mental health with that, when there are people who need it like by the millions in this country just to live, just to learn, just to work. And quite frankly, shouldn't be that stigmatized. What say you on that type of response for this? Am I off base here?
I think it's really complicated when we dive into the world of mental health. And despite what it might look like for Republican supporters, mental health is one of the last few things that's actually bipartisan on the Hill, surprisingly enough. A few weeks ago, I was up in D.C., or I guess a month and a half ago now, I was up in D.C. With the American Counseling Association, and I was on Capitol Hill advocating for mental health policy. And there were quite a few Republican offices I went into, and was pleasantly surprised to see that the representative was fully in support of mental health policy, like Buddy Carter, of all people. Surprisingly enough, very, very, very supportive of mental health policy, which is not something that you'd expect, right? So I think there is I think there should be more messaging, better messaging from the right in terms of mental health and how the representatives see it. And I think that will do a lot to help with this stigma. And secondly, I think that we've gotten a little too far away from accountability in terms of mental health. Mental health can absolutely 100% be the cause of something, but it does not erase accountability and responsibility. And I think that's where the lines have been getting blurred, is that just because we're saying that someone suffers from this mental health issue doesn't mean that they can't be accountable for their actions, right? Just because you didn't mean to break the egg doesn't mean the egg is not yet broken. There's still yolk on the floor to contend with, right?
Right.
So I think if we need to be more intentional with the language that we use around mental health and be responsible in what we're asking for in terms of outcome. So are we asking for this to be excused because this person is, antisocial personality disorder, or they have severe depression, anxiety, schizoaffective, whatever it may be, or are we looking at holding this person accountable for these actions while also holding compassion for the fact that they have something going on that they need help with? Because criticism without compassion is just brutality, right? And we see a lot of brutality right now. So I think if we can have honest and genuine conversation while holding accountability and responsibility, we'd be in a much better position when we're discussing these things.
Yeah, I think mental health is a key component of reducing violence in the country and making sure people have access to mental health care. But aside from the mental health, where do you stand on, I guess, guns and gun reform? And because it's nice to hear that Republicans are backing funding for mental health, but they don't seem to want to do anything when it comes to gun reform.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to be wise-minded in everything that I approach. And when we're talking about two-way rights, I don't know that there's an America that will exist in our lifetimes that will see a complete eradication of guns. And I think that has been such the buttress in the issue when we have these conversations is people automatically hear, oh, you're trying to take my guns. I'm not even willing to have the conversation. So I can't, and I'm also a constitutionalist. I cannot speak out as firmly against this administration as I do and teach about the Constitution online and preach about it so fervently, while also ignoring that 2A rights are in our Constitution. But I also can't ignore the fact that our founding fathers weren't thinking about semi-automatic weapons when they wrote those rules, right? Right?
Right.
So I think with anything, time changes, and with time, we need to make adjustments. It doesn't mean a full-on erasure of, or a full taking over of, but I think that we absolutely 100% need to talk about gun reform. We need to talk about mental health checks. We need to talk about stricter standards, because no matter how we push it or pull it, word it or write it, the numbers can't lie. The United States of America has an issue with gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
It's just point blank period. That's full stop. That's it. That's the sentence, right? And I think when we focus on the numbers and take out the red versus blue, whatever it may be, and look at the data versus lives lost and the future for lives to continue being lost, that's what we need to focus on, is the humanity of it and the loss of humanity. I would argue that most owners of guns aren't going to use it on a person. So what could it harm to have stricter methods? Are you a healthy person? Healthy-minded? Well, you shouldn't have a problem.
The only people who have a problem with that is the NRA and the people making money from selling more and more guns. That's the only reason why they have that problem. And that's the reason why I find when you say to me, well, there's bipartisanship on mental health issue, the idea that's even just one issue is weird, but the reason, what it tells me is the reason why there's bipartisanship on that is because they'd rather talk about that than the fact that they're all getting money from the NRA, and the fact that the other conversation is a non-starter. The restrictions, regulations, that's also in the Constitution, the regulated part of it, and all of these things, it's easier to talk about that. But when you put up a bill, like I see on your own website, that you want to require, and guys, you got to check out this website, mental health access and equity, right? Every time there's a bill out that would move that forward, access to mental health, equity in mental health. You have an idea here that says require insurance parity for mental health and addiction care.
I was just going to ask you parity. Are you familiar with what parity is?
So I am, but I'm going to have you explain it, because I'm sure that I am weak sauce compared to what you can say. But that idea is, when you can say that you're for all of this stuff, but when those things come up, they don't vote for it. They don't vote for it. And that's where I find it hesitant to say, okay, well, are you really bipartisan on this? Or is it just easier to say that than talk about the other stuff? But I'll let you talk about that. I love this idea. Require insurance parity for mental health and addiction care. Both of those. Help me out.
We've had parity laws for quite some time, the late 70s, early 80s. And what they do is they require insurance companies to treat mental health along the same lines as physical health.
Mm-hmm.
The Biden administration did some work into strengthening those parity laws. So we have even more protections against insurance companies, because, as we all know, insurance companies are not always the first ones to do the right thing, right?
No,
right?
No. But Rook, did you hear that? Shit, no,
Sorry,
Rook.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
Come on.
Right. So this was an accountability measure. And as of May 15th of this past year, the current administration put a pause on parity requirements, right? So, what I've seen in my personal sector, from working in the substance use counseling field, I work at a treatment center, and some insurance companies are asking for a review every 7 days.
What?
So they're expecting some kind of progress. They would absolutely make a decision to discharge in 7 days if they deemed it necessary, medically necessary. Now, it was 45 days of treatment. Now it's 45 business days. So weekends no longer count, right? So what we're saying is just heavy, heavy differences in a field that was already struggling
Yeah.
for representation and struggling to have services covered. And it's interesting because if you remember, towards the beginning of the year, Trump issued an executive order about cleaning up the streets, and a big part of that had to do with mental health and substance use, right? So if you cared so fervently about cleaning up our streets and mental health and substance use, why are we doing things also that harm people's measures and means of getting these things taken care of?
Yeah.
So you're saying that maybe not putting them in the fields to work? Maybe that's why is I think what is that RFK Jr. says? Well, we can just take the people who are addicted or who are on the streets or cleaning it up, and the mental health people just put them in the fields to work. Is that a good idea, Bri? Do you like that one? I think.
Well, I can tell you a room full of unmedicated ADHD folks is not going to get you anywhere.
Well said. Well said.
And that is from a clinical purview.
I love it. Yeah. Why are they doing this? So you also, and Brooke, you had something to say before because I can just go on.
That's okay, and I apologize. I was having some battery issues here with my laptop, but I'm all good now. I was gonna say I heard Trump on TV earlier today talking about, I think it was just he's framing it as getting rid of the private health insurance companies and giving the money to the people so they can buy their own health insurance. It's very wild because I'm like, is the president endorsing single payer right now? I don't think he's trying to. I think he's just, he's just saying whatever comes to his head at any given moment. That's the problem with him. But I was wondering how Bri felt on single payer and getting rid of these private health insurance companies profiting off of people getting sick.
Oh, I mean, I battle with insurance companies, and I used to work in dental field, and the same thing, right? I think insurance companies categorically end up doing a lot more harm than they do good. And they do 100% profit and prey off of people's illnesses. Ideally, I think in my mind, I would love to see us under, obviously, universal healthcare would be magnificent, right? And private insurance companies could be an extra expense at your own personal pocket. If you feel you want to have Aetna for whatever surgical reason, Aetna for whatever cosmetic reason, that's your own personal business, right? But the fact that we are so dependent and subsequently weakened by our dependency on these insurance companies, I think it's how they've been able to continue to take advantage and monopolize because we don't have other options.
Yeah, and those monopolies, like in Georgia, I don't know, how many different private insurance companies are there to get your health insurance in Georgia?
We have our top like 3-4 that you see in the circulation that I see at least in my office. So it's for quite a large state, that's not a lot, right?
Yeah. Monopolies. The whole industry is it's a scam. Let's be honest there. It's a damn scam. So what you're talking about is the same thing that happens in isn't that the NSA in England, right? In the UK, you can buy your your public. I mean, you can buy your private, and people have private maybe for dental or for cosmetic or for whatever it is. But everybody has the right to go in and get what they want. Or also in Canada, the same thing. Go ahead, Rook.
I was going to say the public, isn't that same as the public option that they wanted to have, as part of Obamacare way back, was that 15 years ago now? I think they wanted to add a public option, but that was a sticking point, and so it just became a big giveaway to these private health insurance companies. It was basically saying it was a mandate to use private health insurance companies. Granted, a lot of other good things came out of it. Being able to be on your parents' plan until age 26. Lots of good things came with it. But
pre-existing conditions. I think people are about to find out come January all the people that had something to say about that Obamacare, no matter how it was a Republican idea and it does mandate private insurance. We forgot what it was like to get denied insurance because you have diabetes, asthma. Right?
I wonder what it would have been like if they would have added the public options. So we would have had an option like Canada or like England or like almost any other country.
Every other country on fucking earth. Yeah.
Right? So I hope we can get there. I think by getting people like Bri and other like-minded individuals into Congress, we have a shot. So
yeah, that's what we're doing. Now, I want to change gears.
What's up?
I need to find out. Tell me the story. You're a survivor of being trafficked by the cartel. What the actual fuck? Tell me. I don't even know the question. There's no question to ask about. I don't.
I'll keep it, brief but honest. It just was really a product of the fast life I was living in, active addiction. You end up talking to people, getting connected to people. And that's exactly what happened. I met someone and he turned out to be a very not good someone. Mm-hmm. Luckily for me, it wasn't sex trafficking. I was drug trafficked. So essentially forced to do a lot of dealings with illicit substances that I was not okay with, did not profit from. I was held hostage in my own apartment at one point. So yeah, it was quite the experience. And I'm very, very grateful, very lucky that I made it out largely unscathed, all things considering.
I usually don't struggle for words, but you survived it. And so, yeah, you're a survivor and I'm inspired by that. Thank you for getting out of it. What helped you get out of it? What helped you get out of that, I guess, situation?
I honestly have no really deep or grounding moment that got me out of it. I was very lucky in that he walked away for some reason. I figure I'm not a religious person, but I'm fairly spiritual. So whatever higher power is looking out for me, I guess I have a bigger purpose on my life. I got extremely, extremely lucky that it ended the way that it did, where he was willing to just walk away from me. I don't know what in the world compelled him. I can't even explain to you. I think about it sometimes, like what made me so lucky, because this individual had definitely had a past and a history of not leaving loose ends, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. We'll leave it at that. And so I don't know. I just know I have a lot of gratitude that it went the way it did.
Number one, that is over 10 years ago, they would have never have flown in the political climate that we were in before Trump. Period. There's one good thing that Trump has done, and that is exposed that we don't have real people who've gone through anything in our Congress, in our state houses. we have the bad guys. We have the traffickers. We have the abusers, the users, the people who've exploited farm work and their own employees in those positions. And that's why this idea of everybody just, meeting up afterwards for drinks after just supposedly fighting hard in Congress for people's rights, it was all a lie and a joke. And I'd like to find out, how does that experience inform your politics, your running, how you will govern? Why is that important? How does it inform it?
Honestly, I think I draw from a lot of things. Not only what the current congressional offices aren't doing, but also what I think we should be doing. I take a lot from the counseling world. Listening first. We have got to have more dialogue over division. The fact that so many of us tend to break down in political conversations, have meltdowns, aren't willing to hear each other because of differences in thought processing. It's quite juvenile. It is exhausting, to be quite honest with you. So when I think about in terms of how I govern, I don't want to ever get so out of touch that people don't know who I am and can't track the lines of what I'm doing to their own personal lives and to their households. I want there always to be direct lines from my congressional office to your household. And if it comes to a point where, who is Bri Woodson? Who is she to the district? That means I need to show up a little bit more. That means I need to make contact more. And that's one thing that is very obvious in the district currently. Rick Allen doesn't show up. He's quiet. He's been a quiet actor for quite some time. And so when I think about what I do want to accomplish, what I don't want to do is be that person. I think when we think of Congress, we're like, oh my goodness, it's Congress. At the end of the day, it ain't nothing but a public service job. I'm a public servant. And as a public servant, the public should feel served.
Outstanding.
That's what representation is. And so you don't alienate your constituents, because that's what I feel like a lot of constituents feel alienated right now. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's why we need to have more, dialogue over division, because, my goal is not to flip MAGA. My goal is to not change people's minds. My goal is to meet people exactly where they are. Because 9 times out of 10, if gas prices are too high for me, they're too high for you too.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then go from there and see where we land. I think we get a lot further.
So, here's a quote: "Democracy isn't a slogan; it's a responsibility. And I'll always fight for free, fair, and equal access to the ballot box." This is, of course, from your website. And when you say that, what's his name? Don't say it. I don't care. That other bum that doesn't show up ever, that always votes the wrong way, if he's even there to vote, trying to find his record, is like looking for the fucking Bermuda Triangle. This guy is worthless, period. And he's not there for you, Georgia. I don't care what side you vote for. If you're voting because it's... anyway, so I want to talk about Georgia and this idea of being a representative, representing people, is going down the drain with their gerrymandering ideas, with their what is it? What did I call it? The snitching programs, trying to, they have a website now where you can just say, oh, well, I don't think that so-and-so is a citizen. Boop, boop, boop. You press a button, you know their name, and they're gone off a registry roll. I'm going to read what you have here. Protect voting rights and restore polling locations in rural and urban areas. Yes. End gerrymandering that silences black and rural voters. Enforce civil rights protections in housing. employment, and education. Yes, support fair redistricting and election transparency. Talk to me about how hard that is in Georgia. Talk to me about why that's so important. And then you can expound further on how much your feckless, worthless actual opponent has benefited from these things not being cared about for long enough.
Yeah. First of all, District 12 was actually redistricted maybe, I remember, somewhere between 5 and 8 years ago. It actually had quite a bit more of Savannah in it, which is, as we know, a very black town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So they cracked it.
Yeah, 100%. So, when you're thinking about that, you're thinking about how long Rick Allen's been in office, the timing.
Mm-hmm.
But, and it's a district that it really just needs attention. It's not impossible. It is an R+7 district, but that's just because of the rural areas. But those are also overcomable. It's 55-56% white, 40% black. Outside of that, Latina and Asian. It was a 60-40 vote last election cycle for the seat. Those are flippable numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about fairness and access, getting out to rural spots is so important. And I think that has been really the game changer for so many of our races before. You go out to these rural spots and just vote right down the ticket, right? I'd be willing to bet that a lot of these people don't even know who Rick Allen is. They just know he's a Republican.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that typically pairs with people who feel like they're a blue dot in a red room and don't go and speak out because they feel like their voices don't matter. Those are the people that I'm interested in.
Mm.
So are you trying to create events? When is the primary? Are you going up against anyone in the primary?
Oh, yeah. There are 3 or 4 other Dems in the primary. Yes, 100%. May 16th.
Okay. So between now and May 16th, what types of events are you trying to organize, and where are you going to be, and where can people come and meet you?
I have all types of stuff coming up. I have a coffee chat at a veteran-owned coffee shop coming up on the 24th, and my team is going to publish my event calendar on my website here soon. My kickoff is in March, but in between those, I have a speech also in January at Georgia Southern, and I will be doing a voter drive at Augusta State in February, and I'm hoping to work with the Black History Museum on some history event for Black History Month. I've got some things up my sleeve for Black History Month. I'm a direct descendant of Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history, so it's a month that is always kind of a big deal for me. So
outstanding.
Yeah. So in March is my official kickoff, and also in February is the March for Democracy. We Are Mad. Fight Against Fascism organization is putting that together. I'm their Georgia lead, so I'll also be in DC in February again, causing good trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, causing some good trouble.
I love it.
At the end of March is my official kickoff. Qualifying week is the first week in March. And so my kickoff party will be at the end of March. And my birthday is also at the end of March. So it'll be like a birthday kickoff thing. So.
Whoop, whoop.
Excellent. Big party. Big party.
Absolutely love it. Now, I'm a big proponent that anybody that I'm voting for now on, I need to have seen them on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, wherever it is, in the streets somewhere. I need to see you in the streets, man. I need to see you in the streets. And that's where I met you, that lets me know, okay, we found someone willing to fight.
Okay, we all know how Hunter Biden kind of had his snap, right?
Uh-huh.
He got sober and he's like clear-minded and he's a very smart man. People are questioning his demeanor, and I tell people it makes sense. A lot of times what happens when you hit sobriety is that you've had an ego death, You've already experienced your worst demon, and that was you.
Wow.
I'm very much in the same headspace. I'm not scared of anything. Like, I already survived my worst day 10 times over. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go, man. That's the type of talk that gets Jill Sard excited, baby. Let's go. Whatever it is we can do, whatever you need, call me, hit me up.
I got you.
All right. I know I'm excited about this. You know why? Because people need some motivation, and my center, my Zen space is fighting people, holding people, guiding people through hard times. It's why I was a drill sergeant. It's why I have always gravitated towards not just teaching, but teaching people with disabilities or who are otherly abled, and why I decided to start the rebellion where I did, why I'm drawn to Sons of Liberty. This is where I live. Where other people are running and where other people are saddened or dejected is where I live. I love it. I love it. When it gets hard and tough is when I start to raise my voice. I love this. And that's exactly where I find you. And that's exactly the type of people we need leading right now. There are people who are dejected, who are curled up in a fetal position in the corner of their fucking room right now because it sucks so much. And that's when I find an opportunity. And that's where I found you. And that's how I know we need to be doing what we do together, because I'm not scared of it anymore. I'm not scared of it anymore. And you don't need to be, because there's folks out here fighting for you, but with you. Get up. Get up. Get up.
It's been funny. They've been on TikTok calling me the Mockingjay of Congress because of District 12.
What is that? What did they put up? Is it? There we go. Hey, I'm going to get a screenshot of that. We found that's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail. You doing that right there. That was perfect. I love it.
Some people say that, you got to treat fear like a friend. It's like there to help you when, you're crossing the street. But fear should not, be the main driver of your decisions, or, you shouldn't not do something just simply because you're afraid of what might happen, or you're afraid you might fail.
What I tell my clients is emotions are not directives. They're just data. So if you're in fear of something, use it as data, not a directive. You don't have to act under fear. You can use the data that you are given and take action and turn it into something meaningful. At the end of the day, courage is just fear walking. That's all it is. So decide to walk. And then that's when you get to run.
I love it.
God damn it. We got to end it. That's where you end. That's where you end it. That's it. Good and decent people of YouTube. Well, go ahead, Rook. If you got something better than that, say it. But don't say nothing if it's not better than that.
If we already... Where can people get involved? Where can people sign up to volunteer?
Yes, absolutely. Bri Woodson for Congress, and I tell people it's Bri like the cheese, no E, so it's BriForCongres.com, Bri Woodson for Congress. You'll also find me on TikTok and Instagram under Bri Woodson for Congress. If you're interested in learning about where it all started, you can follow me under my larger accounts. That's where you'll find all my history content and my political commentary, and that's under the Controversial Blonde.
Oh, see, that's why I'm looking for all of that. I can't find them. Like, man, she done hit all the old stuff. I want to see the old stuff. I want to see that stuff. The controversy. See, we would have brought that up in the show.
That was the branding before running for Congress, is the controversial blonde. It's so funny that people on TikTok actually know my name now, because for the longest, I go in live panels and in comment section videos, people call me Blondie or controversial or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's weird that people know my actual name on TikTok now, but
Well, maybe we can start some I don't know, a Blondies for Bri or something. We can all come out to your events. So, are you looking for people to volunteer right now? Are you looking for people to help?
absolutely.
Is there a form they can go to or an email address they can send to?
So if you actually go on my website, briwoodsonforcongress.com, there is a big red button that says get involved, and it'll take you to the sign up form.
Excellent.
Oh, this is fire. Oh, this controversial blonde joint is fire, though. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. We about to go in. Shorts coming.
God, there's nothing I love better than proving someone like this wrong. Well, it seems to me if maybe you were a little bit smarter and you did some more research and reading, you wouldn't be in my comments now being embarrassed.
On the way. They will be coming. We got shorts will be coming. We about to take. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm doing my thing. Go ahead, Rook. What's going on, man?
No, I'm excited that you're so excited. I can't wait to see which video you want to plunk onto the screen.
Somebody said, "Oh, girl, it ain't nothing wrong with the way she's talking. She's telling the truth." So I guess it's okay, because all those over there on the left, those Democrats, those reverends, they be shaking around that offer plate. They got 3 side chicks. Oh God, they don't know. I mean, they don't know. Somebody said, "Oh,
That was a clip of Tori Brandon, the woman who is running for Georgia's 12th district congressional seat, mocking the way Jasmine Crockett speaks. Mind you, this is the same woman who called ICE on the Hyundai plant and caused local, national, and global outrage and embarrassment and damage. This woman is speaking this way about African American vernacular English while planning on representing her district that is 36% black. Is this who y'all want? Is this who Georgia deserves? Please.
No, I won't do it now. I gotta look at it first, because you don't know what might come up.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. Donald Trump is absolutely a hood rat. To spend $500,000 on gold wrapping trucks for a hip hop music video. Yeah, that's 100% hood rat behavior. I'm glad you see it too.
I got a question, since Bri's into the Constitution. I don't know if you're aware, Bri, we were talking about it before you came online, but I'm filing a lawsuit in D.C. In district court. I'm looking for a declaratory judgment regarding Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that says if you provide aid or comfort to people that participated in an insurrection, then you're not allowed to hold office. So, if you agree that January 6th is an insurrection and you believe that pardons and clemency are a form of aid and comfort, then I don't exactly know how the justices are going to dance around this, but that's why I wanted to get your thoughts, because it says or provide aid or comfort. It doesn't say participated in an insurrection and provided aid or comfort. Just the aid or comfort is by itself, and if you've provided aid or comfort to insurrectionists, the way I read it, you're not allowed to hold office.
So, as a hopeful future law student, I think my brain first goes to they're probably going to hang up on the definition of aid and comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they want foot massages and like what do they want?
I think they probably try to take it very literal. So I think my focus would be on proving how clemency and pardons and things of the like would in some ways equate to aid and comfort.
Yeah, well, I think shielding them. Man, I think when you let someone out of jail and you say, you know what, that crime you were convicted for, even though you were convicted of sedition, I think we're going to let you out. I don't know how you could aid someone more.
Here's the biggest thing. You'd have to if you can say that pardoning is not aid, then you'd have to change the words legal aid. You'd have to change that word for all lawyers. Lawyers cannot provide legal aid because getting you out of jail or keeping you out of jail is not aid. Then what they do is something other than legal aid. Period.
Good point. So anyway, I guess
Right.
this is for the justices to figure out. I think it's a simple sentence, and we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm not a lawyer, so they would probably
neither
say,
am I,
"Shut up."
but,
You don't know what you're talking about, son.
We'll see how it goes. I think they might reject me for standing since I'm just a citizen. So I'm hoping to find a sitting U.S. Congressperson to file the suit. So they can't reject.
Contact Al Green's office.
Oh, please, if you know how. I need to get a hold of someone that can at least agree with the argument and think it's worth a shot.
We're trying to go through the removal coalition right now, but I think that they all have so many different things going at the same time. We may not have seen enough, so maybe we can get Jessica Denson to ask him. I think that might be a good way.
Or, I know not a lot of Democrats voted for impeachment, right? But maybe go through the list of Democrats that did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know Al Green just got done introducing articles of impeachment. So, yeah.
That could be a route.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Good and decent people of YouTube, Bri Woodson. Thank you so much. We'll do this again before the election. That's my promise to you. And I also want to put you on other platforms, Political Drain, and Sons of Liberty as well. So stay tuned. And we got a lot to talk about because, it's time to get busy. Let's go. Last words from you.
Always, I think in these political times, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of it. But one thing I want us to always remember that criticism without compassion is just brutality. And we have more than enough brutes running around. So be compassionate.
And with that, peace.